Most people are convinced you need a giant gym packed with machines and 30 different exercises just to build a body worth looking at. But somewhere out there, right now, there are men who have been locked in a concrete box for decades with nothing. No dumbbells, no cables, no trainer. And a lot of them walk out stronger and more muscular than the guys who spend every evening under fluorescent lights at your local fitness club. That messed with my head for a while. What were they actually doing in there? What did they know that the rest of us somehow missed? So I stopped guessing and went looking. And the answer was almost annoying in how simple it turned out to be. It came down to 3 movements, just 3. No fancy equipment, no membership, no excuses. And once I understood how they worked, I did something a little crazy. I threw out my entire routine and replaced the whole thing with them. The first one I found by accident, buried inside a book called Solitary Fitness, written by a man named Charles Bronson. And no, not the guy from the old movies. I mean the other Charles Bronson, the one they called Britain's most dangerous prisoner. This man spent over 50 years behind bars, a huge chunk of it in solitary confinement, cut off from everything. You would think a person like that would waste away. He did the opposite. During all those years alone in a cell the size of a parking space, he broke strength records that trained athletes could not touch. Think about that for a second. No coach, no supplements, no mirror to check his form. Just a floor, a wall, and time. And out of all that isolation, he built one movement he claimed could stand in for an entire workout on its own. He called it the Bronson push-up. Some of you might already know it under a different name, the handstand wall push-up. It became my favorite almost instantly. I won't lie to you though, the first time I tried it, I understood very quickly why most people avoid it. Because it is hard, brutally hard. But the moment I actually grasped what it was doing to my body, ignoring it stopped being an option. So let me walk you through it before you write it off. Start by kicking up into a handstand against a wall, hands flat on the floor, feet resting on the wall behind you, body stacked straight and completely upside down. Now here is the part where your arms start to argue with you. Bend slowly, lower your head down toward the floor, and then drive yourself back up. That's the whole thing. One movement, nothing more to memorize. Keep grinding at it and something strange happens. You get stable. You get strong in a way that surprises you. And after enough weeks, the wall becomes optional. You start floating there on your own, balanced in full control. But please, at the beginning, keep that wall behind you. Skip it too early and you end up flat on your face. I learned that one personally, and my neck reminded me about it for days. Now, why does something this simple work so well? Picture a regular shoulder press for a second. You're sitting or standing, shoving weight up from below you. It's a bit like trying to shove a heavy door open by pushing on the very bottom of it. Awkward. Now flip yourself upside down. Suddenly you're pressing from the top and that small change rewires everything. The load lands on the caps of your shoulders, the front heads, and your triceps in a way a normal press physically cannot reach. And then there's the sneaky part nobody warns you about. Your core never switches off, not for a single second. You're not doing a single crunch, yet your abs are screaming the entire time just to stop you from folding in half. So in one clean rep, you're hammering your shoulders, your triceps, your upper chest, and every tiny stabilizer muscle wrapped around your spine. That's your whole upper push day, gone, collapsed into one exercise. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Bronson had something you and I simply don't. He had endless hours. Locked in that cell, he could run this movement over and over until the day blurred into night. You can't. I can't either. And honestly, you don't need to. That's the good news buried in all of this. You just need a smarter version of what he was doing. Here's how I run it. 3 times a week, that's it. 4 sets each session, aiming for somewhere between 5 and 10 reps. When those start feeling too comfortable, you make one small change. Walk your feet a little lower down the wall each time, inch by inch, week by week. Keep creeping down until one day there's no wall left to lean on at all. And just like that, your shoulders and chest are handled without a single dumbbell in sight. But we're only a third of the way there. You can't build a real body training the top half and ignoring everything below the waist. Skip legs and you turn into one of those guys everyone quietly laughs about at the beach. So the next movement matters just as much, and this one turns your legs into something solid enough to kick through a wall. Which brings us straight to Mike Tyson. Yeah, that Mike Tyson. Even when he got sent to prison, the man refused to stop training. He built legs like tree trunks in there, the kind that just refused to buckle no matter what's stacked on top of them. And the way he did it looks almost laughably basic on paper. Right now, you're probably thinking it's just another squat, another boring set of up and down. It isn't, and I promise you that by the time you feel it, you'll understand why. Grab yourself 10 playing cards. Any deck lying in a drawer works fine. Lay them out on the floor in a straight line, a few inches of space between each one. Not so far apart that it kills you, but enough that reaching for the next card actually costs you something. I'll be honest, laying cards on the ground to work out sounds ridiculous the first time you hear it. I thought the same. Then I actually did it. Here's the movement. Squat all the way down, pick up the first card, place it on top of the second one, and stand back up. That's one squat. Now down again, grab the third card, stack it, rise up. 2 squats done. Add another, and now you're doing 3 in a row. Every single time you stack a card, the number climbs a little higher. Sounds gentle enough, right? It sounds gentle right up until your thighs start shaking and quietly begging you to sit down. And that shaking is exactly the moment that separates the people who quit from the ones who keep going. Here's the trick though. Don't count. Don't think about the total. Just look at the next card in front of you and go get it. Because if you stay locked on that one small target, you'll look up eventually and realize you just knocked out 100 squats without your brain ever panicking about the number. One of my favorite creators, a channel called Strength Side, actually filmed what happened to his body after doing 100 bodyweight squats a day. The change was hard to argue with. And with this card method, the math sneaks up on you. Once all 10 cards are stacked, you've technically hit 55 squats because each new card adds 1 more than the last. But wait, you also had to squat down to grab every single card too. So the real number quietly doubles behind your back. And that right there is the actual genius of it. The reason Tyson kept coming back to this thing inside a cell. When you do a normal set of squats, you already know the number, 30, 20, whatever it is. And that number, sitting there in your skull before you even start, is exactly what makes you want to stop. The card system deletes the number completely. It's a psychology trick dressed up as a workout. You're not thinking about a total anymore. You're only thinking about the next card on the floor. Imagine a staircase that keeps building itself out in front of you as you climb. Each step is a fraction harder than the last, but you never see the top, so you never brace for it. And then suddenly you're standing at the peak wondering how you got there. That's what this does to your mind. And what it does to your legs is even better, because this one lift basically swallows your entire leg day whole. It hits almost everything down there at once. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, the inner thighs nobody trains, even your calves get pulled into it. Every muscle you'd normally split across 3 separate machines, all firing together in one simple pattern. All from a deck of cards you forgot you owned. And if you genuinely don't have cards, doesn't matter. Rip a sheet of paper into 10 little squares and you're set. Coins work too. Bottle caps, whatever's within reach. The tool is nothing. The pattern is everything. Now, a fair warning. You probably can't train the way Tyson did. The man had nothing but time in that cell. You've got a job, bills, people who need you, and a strange urge to keep watching videos like this one instead of moving. If you tried to match his volume, you'd waste away into a shadow long before your legs ever caught up. So here's what I'd actually tell you to do. 2, maybe 3 times a week. Start with 10 cards, which already lands you around 100 squats. Once that stops scaring you, bump it to 15 cards, and now you're staring down roughly 225. Best part? Each session runs under 15 minutes. I've been living on the 15-card version for a while now, and the difference is not in my head. My legs feel denser, steadier, just more there than they used to be. Upper body handled, lower body handled. But I told you earlier these men train their abs too, and not with the sad little crunches everyone half-heartedly does on a yoga mat. Which drags us toward a name almost none of you have ever heard, Cosmart. Stick with me though, because after this next movement, you're not going to forget it. Before I show you the exercise itself, you need the reason he built it, because the reason is honestly a little dark. When this man landed in prison, a doctor sat him down and told him his blood pressure and cholesterol were so wrecked that a fatal heart attack was probably coming for him inside 5 years. 5 years. That number rattled him to the core, so he did the only thing he could. He started running whenever the yard was open, and on the days it wasn't, he invented his own movements inside a cell barely big enough to lie down in. One of those inventions he named Hello Dolly. Yeah, I know, it sounds like the title of some cheerful old musical, but here's the pattern I keep noticing with these prison exercises. The sillier the name, the more it's about to hurt. Here's how it goes. Lie flat on your back, legs pressed together. Slide both hands under your tailbone, palms facing the floor. Now lift your feet a few inches up, roughly a 45-degree angle, head resting back, chin tucked in slightly. From there, open your legs wide out to the sides and pull them back together, over and over, like a pair of scissors that won't stop. That's 1 rep. Aim for 30. And I'll tell you right now, you're going to feel it long before you get anywhere near 30. But the movement means nothing until you understand why it wrecks you. Most core work, your crunches and sit-ups, is embarrassingly easy to cheat. The floor does half the job for you. Here, the floor gives you nothing. You're balancing the entire time on your hands and your tailbone, and the second your focus slips, you tip over sideways like a chair with a broken leg. So your whole midsection, the six-pack muscles, the deep core underneath, the obliques on the sides, the lower back, every bit of it is firing non-stop just to keep you upright. Then your legs split apart, and suddenly your hip flexors, inner thighs, and quads all crash the party at the same time. No machine in any gym recreates this. No crunch variation touches it. And the reason is almost stupid in how obvious it is. Every gym machine, every floor exercise you've ever done has something quietly holding you up. A pad, a seat, the ground under your spine. Hello Dolly has none of that. You are the machine. That's the entire secret. But you're not going to grind it out the way Cosmart did, because once again, the man was a prisoner drowning in free time and you are not. So keep it human. 3 times a week, 4 sets of 30, short breaks between them. Under 10 minutes, start to finish. And on the day it finally starts feeling easy, don't add reps. Just freeze for a second at the top. Legs open, holding, shaking. Same numbers on paper. Double the pain in reality. And with that, all 3 pieces are on the table. 3 exercises, 3 men, 3 cells, and somehow between them they cover nearly every muscle you own. That was the whole point. But maybe your week is a mess and you genuinely can't cram all 3 into one session without falling apart. Fine. Here's the version I'd hand a busy person. Monday belongs to the Bronson handstand push-ups, as many quality reps as you can squeeze into 10 honest minutes. That's the whole session, nothing else. Wednesday, you switch to the Tyson card squats. Start at 10 cards and the day that stops burning, climb to 15. Then Friday closes it out with Hello Dolly, again just under 10 minutes of that scissor motion until your abs are on fire. Do that and you've hit your upper body, your lower body, your abs, and your deep core, all through 3 movements a man could do inside a locked room. No gym, no gear, no monthly fee bleeding out of your account. Now, I'll be straight with you about one thing, because it matters. If your real goal is building muscle as fast as physically possible, the research is pretty clear that you want to hit each muscle group twice a week, not once. So this 3-day split is the floor, not the ceiling. If you've got the time and the drive, there's nothing stopping you from looping back through and running these more often, stacking the volume higher as your body adapts to it.